So we've got Cosmic Cowboy by Johnny Greenlight, a concept album, right? And it's fascinating how these songs kind of weave a story, each one building on the last. And this one, we're really diving into this character, Johnny, early 30s, dealing with all the stuff that comes with adulting.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about this deep dive is how the album tackles escapism. But it's not just about, wanting a break from work. It's deeper, yearning for something more, something real in a world that often feels, I don't know, kind of fake and repetitive.
Right, and the way the album plays with what's real and what's fantasy, are these actual events or just in Johnny's head? Keeps you guessing the whole time. But before we get lost in space, let's start with those first two tracks, Getaway and Invincible. They kind of set the scene.
Yeah, Getaway. Right off the bat, you get that feeling of being stuck in a rut. You get a glimpse into Johnny's life, the office job, living for the weekend. But it's more than just wanting a break, right? The lyrics hint at this deeper need. Something's missing.
It's not just work he's trying to escape. It's a whole life that doesn't feel right. There's this line about finding peace on the valley floor, going back to something simpler, more real.
And that search for something authentic, it carries into Invincible. We find Johnny at home, pre-party, friends around, but he's not really there. There's this tension between his outward success and this inner struggle.
The lyrics mention old photos, maybe from a simpler time in his life. That nostalgia mixed with the pressures of, being an adult. It's like he's caught between who he was and who he thinks he's supposed to be now.
And what's interesting, the source material points out, they never say what Johnny actually does for a living. So it's we can all see ourselves in him a little bit.
Totally. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder or struggling to make art, that feeling of being stuck, wanting something more, it's universal.
Absolutely. And just when it feels like all those expectations are going to crush him, the album takes a hard left turn with Technicolor Dream. It's boom, you're in a different reality.
Totally. Like stepping through a portal or something.
All tone changes. We go from the ordinary to the fantastical, bright colors, spaceships, this feeling of floating.
You can practically hear Johnny breaking free.
Yeah.
And it's exhilarating. But it also brings us to that big question. Is this space trip for real, or is it all in his head?
Well, the source material does mention the party, alcohol, and mind-altering substances were involved, so maybe it's a chemically induced vision.
Right. It's up to you to decide. Are we supposed to take it literally, this space travel, or is it a metaphor for looking inward?
Exactly. It makes you question what's real, how we escape the ordinary, and then we hit the title track, Cosmic Cowboy. That's where the musical journey really takes off.
Literally, this is Johnny Greenlight, the band, really showing what they can do. And it's not just called Cosmic Cowboy for nothing, right? This is where you really feel that vastness, that exploration, the whole vibe.
It's this amazing blend of psychedelic rock, space rock, Pink Floyd meets Bowie, but with this raw cosmic energy. Is huge, almost cinematic.
Yeah, totally. And the way it just launches into orbit musically, the source material mentions his huge crescendo. Did you get that feeling?
Oh, absolutely. It describes this short intro, all lyrics, painting this picture of a rocket launch, the sights, the sounds, even feeling in the air, right before. And then, boom, the music takes over and you're gone.
You're strapped in there with Johnny, feeling the engines, that force of taking off.
Yeah.
And musically, it gets really cool here. This 20-minute instrumental section, it's not just one long jam, right? It's doing stuff.
Oh, no, it's layered, complex, full of surprises. You get these soaring guitar solos, weightlessness, right? And then these rhythms, the heartbeat of a spaceship. And then these moments of quiet, you're reminded just how empty space is.
Wow, yeah, you're really making me hear it. Makes you wonder, does this music reflect what's going on in Johnny's head at this point? Is it as jumbled as all these sounds?
That's a great point. Remember, maybe he's in an altered state, right? So maybe the music is mirroring his mind, this chaotic but amazing trip he's on, whether it's real or not.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone from wanting to escape to blasting through space. What happens when we get to the highest point, the peak of this whole sonic trip?
Well, that's where Peak comes in, the next track. Super important in the story. If Cosmic Cowboy is the launch, the journey, Peak is that moment of zero gravity, pure awe.
And that's where he meets the angel, right? This mysterious figure who gives him some pretty deep advice.
Yeah, and it's not your typical angel thing. It's not about religion or being good. It's about perspective. It's about how all our worries, the stuff we stress about every day, it seems pretty small from far out in space.
Like that astronaut's view, right? seeing Earth from up there and realizing how tiny and fragile it is.
Exactly. And the source material, it points out how this can be like freeing, but scary too. Freeing because you can let go of things you can't control, but scary because, well, the universe is huge GE and we're just like a speck in it.
Whoa, like looking into the abyss or something?
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah, but kind of terrifying. So we had this huge musical buildup, this encounter, this whole shift in perspective. But you know what they say, what goes up
Must come down, exactly. And that's where Cosmic Cowboy Reprise comes in, a big turning point in the album.
the come down after the high, the return to reality.
Right. And musically, you hear it too. It's quieter now, more thoughtful, even a little sad. Like the afterglow of a rocket launch, still amazing, but definitely different.
And lyrically, that's where we see Johnny's perspective changing too. He sings, Mars just ain't that kind of place, like he misses home a little.
Such a key line because it shows the limits of escapism. Even way out there on another planet, he realizes running away isn't the answer.
It's the journey, not the destination. Classic.
Right. And that leads us to the last track, Beneath the Sky, where Johnny's back on Earth facing reality.
Do we finally get an answer? Like, did this space trip change him or not? He's back on this blue world, like the song says, but is he different inside, I mean?
Yeah, that's what Beneath the Sky makes you think about. It's not like this big happy ending, but it's not a crash landing either. It's more like quiet, thinking about it all, what he's been through.
You get the feeling he's still trying to make sense of it, you know? Like, those images, the sonic booms, the dark side of the moon, they're still with him.
And those images, the source material calls them aftershocks. Like, his body's back, but his mind, it's still out there a little.
So he brought a piece of that cosmic perspective back with him. Like, remember what the angel said? The universe is huge, our problems are small. It feels like that really got to him, even if he doesn't, like, totally get it yet.
Right, and there's this one line, it says, Johnny leaves as John arrives. Like he's shedding something, an old version of himself.
So he's not Johnny anymore, he's John.
Think about it. Johnny, it sounds more, I don't know, made up. But John, it feels more real, grounded. It's a small thing, but it says a lot about how this whole journey changed him.
And then that last line of the whole album, and we'll do it again. Kind of ominous, don't you think?
It does. Like this need to escape, to search for something more, it never really goes away. It's just part of us, you know? We find some peace, some clarity, but we're always looking for the next thing.
So we will go on these journeys. It's just a matter of time. And maybe the journey is what matters, not where you end up.
Exactly. And that's what I love about Cosmic Cowboy. It doesn't give you the answers or tell you how to find, like, enlightenment. It just says, be open to the mystery, explore those urges to escape, find the meaning in the journey itself.
That's deep. Well, that was quite a ride through the soundscapes of Cosmic Cowboy, huh? From Getaway all the way to Beneath the Sky.
It really shows you what a concept album can do, how it pulls you in and makes you think.
Totally. So to everyone listening, go check out Cosmic Cowboy. Give it a listen with fresh ears. Go on the journey with Johnny. But also pay attention to what you feel, what it means to you, what speaks to you, what questions does it make you ask about your own life, your own need to escape sometimes.
Because at the end of the day, the most important discoveries are the ones we make about ourselves.
Couldn't said it better myself. And that wraps up our deep dive into Cosmic Cowboy by Johnny Greenlight. We hope you enjoyed exploring these Technicolor dreams with us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep listening.